Hey everyone! Welcome to another video. Today we are solving the challenge Archetype from Hack the Box. If you are into cybersecurity and enjoy figuring out puzzles, this video is just for you. We'll step through the process together, showing you how to solve this challenge from beginning to end. So grab your gear, get comfy, and let's get ready to master this challenge. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And without further ado, let's get to it. Task 1. Which TCP port is hosting a database server? So let's perform an nmap scan with the switches -S, capital C, -S, capital V, and then our IP address, this one here. Now, the switch -S, capital C is used to perform a script scan using the default set of scripts. The default script set is a collection of scripts that are considered safe and useful for routine scanning, and they provide additional information about the services running on the target machines. For example, these scripts can automatically detect and report versions of software, misconfigurations, default credentials, and potential vulnerabilities. The switch -SV determines service version information about the open ports discovered during a scan. Now, from our output, the port that is hosting a database is port 1433. As you can see, the service running on this port is MS SQLS. That refers to Microsoft SQL Server, which is a relational database management system developed by Microsoft. So that's our answer. Task 2. What is the name of the non-administrative share available over SMB? Okay, to list shares we can use 𝑭𝒐𝒏𝒈. This is the command that you will use to list the shares available over SMB. Then -L to list all the shares, and then our IP address. So let's copy. Now, we will try to list the shares with a blank username and password. So let's try a blank password. And as you can see, we can list all the shares with a blank username and a blank password. Now, administrative shares are the ones that have dollar symbol. So this one is an administrative share, this one is an administrative share, and this one is an administrative share. So the one that is not an administrative share is the backups, okay? So that's our answer to task 2. Now, task 3. What is the password identified in the file on the SMB share? Now, before we can answer this question, we need to list the contents of our share. To do that, we can use the following command: SMB client, then /, another /, another one, and another one, and then our IP address. Now we insert two /, like so, and we insert the name of the share that we want to list the contents of, okay? In this case is backups. So we copy this and we pass here, okay? Now we insert the switch -N, the switch -C, and then between single quotes, like so, L and S. This stands for list. Now, the switch N tells SMB client not to prompt for a password. We don't need to insert a password because we use a blank password. In this case, if you use the switch N, you will not be asked for a password as we were before, okay, here above. Then the switch C, L and S executes the ls command immediately upon connecting to the share, okay? Let's click enter. Okay, as you can see, we have here a file that we are going to download, so this file here. To do that, we will use the following command: SMB client, then // another // and another // then our IP address, like so, then another // the name of our share, so in this case backups, and then we use the switches. Once again, capital N, dash C, and then between single quotes, get, and then the name of our file, okay? So this one here, we copy and we insert it between single quotes. As I told you before, this switch here will execute the command between quotes, okay? So you insert the command get to download the file, and you insert the name of the file that you want to download, okay? So you click enter and let's see, and as you can see, our file was downloaded. And if you insert the command l&s on your computer, you will see that now you have the file on your directory, okay? Now let's print the contents of the file with the command cat and then the name of the file. So let's see. Okay, we have here a password and a user ID, okay? By the way, the answer to task 3 is this one, this password here, as you can see. Task 4, what script from 𝒖𝒔𝒄 collection can be used in order to establish an authenticated connection to a Microsoft SQL server? Well, the script is ms_sql_client.py. The ms_sql_client tool specifically targets Microsoft SQL Server databases. It allows penetration testers and security researchers to interact with SQL Server databases via the command line, providing capabilities similar to a SQL command shell. This can be used for executing SQL queries directly, enabling or testing SQL Server functionalities, or even attempting privilege escalation on the SQL Server. Now, you can use the command locate to search for the file on your computer, like so. Let me clean my terminal, so locate, and then you insert the name of the file that you want to search for, and you click enter. And as you can see, if you have the file already on your computer, you will have the path to the file printed, okay? Now, if you do not have this file, you just need to search on Google for instance, ms_sql client.py file, for instance, and you will have here the 𝒖𝒔𝒄 collection, okay? Then you can download the file and then you can run it, okay? Now I will use this one here. Let me see here. So I will copy this path and I will change to the directory that has the file. You tab cd to change of directories, you click enter. Now, if you do not know how to use this script, you can go to the directory where you have ms_sql_client.py saved and insert it on your terminal and click enter. So you insert ms_sql_client.py and you click enter, and you will have a lot of information about the usage of this command, okay? Now with this you will see information that will help you to use this script. Now we can use the information here to authenticate, okay? So let's do it. First we need to insert the command python 3 because this invokes the Python interpreter, okay? So python 3 in my case, some people will just use Python. You see what version of Python you have installed, okay? Now I have the Python 3 installed. Then we insert the Python script that in this case is ms_sql_client.py, and then we follow the instructions that are here on our terminal, so these ones here. So first we insert our domain and username, that is, if you go once again back and you read the contents of the file that we downloaded from our share, you'll see that the domain and username is this one here. Okay, you copy this and we paste here. However, we will use the /, not the /, okay? Then as password, you insert colon, then the password, that is this one here, you pass the password here, then @ and then our target name or address, in this case is our IP address. We insert it and then we will use this switch here from ms_sql_client.py windows-auth. And we will use this switch because this switch will help us leverage existing Windows credentials and security features, okay? Now, please don't forget to change this / with a /, so like this one here, because in Unix-like systems, the / is an escape character. This means it is used to escape special characters in the command line, allowing them to be treated as literal characters rather than having their usual special meaning. So, this works like so. If a character has a special function in the shell, so for instance, like this one, that stands for all, prefixing it with a /, so like so, removes its special meaning. For example, this here would be treated as literal asterisk rather than a wildcard character. So, if you run this command here, but instead of a / you use a /, the shell sees the / and the s next to it and might interpret the / as starting a escape sequence. Depending on the shell and its configuration, it could remove the / if it doesn't form a valid escape sequence, thus passing archetype without this /, so it will be like this is next to the SQL SVC, okay, without any slash in the middle, okay? This would cause an error or behave unpredictably, okay? Now, the /, as you can see here, on the other hand, has no special escaping function in Unix-like shells. It is generally used as a directory separator and is passed as is to applications. This makes it safe to use in command line arguments without worrying about it altering the input. When you run the command like so, as it is right now, the / does not alter any subsequent characters and is passed directly to ms_sql_client.py as part of the argument string. Since many tools and scripts that interface with Windows systems like SMB servers, SQL servers, etc. are aware they may be run from Unix-like systems, they are often designed to accept / as delimiters for Windows domain and path specifications, okay? And this is why you need to use the / instead of the /. And now, if you run the command, let's see, you are able to connect, so we are in, okay? And remember that the answer is ms_sql_client.py. Now, task 5. What extended store procedure of Microsoft SQL Server can be used in order to spawn a Windows command shell? Well, to spawn a Windows command shell, we use xp_cmd shell, okay? So that's our answer. So xp_cmd shell is a built-in extended stored procedure in Microsoft SQL Server that allows system administrators to execute operating system commands directly from within an SQL query or a stored procedure. But before we move on, let's insert the command help to see what we need to do in order to use this procedure. So, help. Okay, and here we have xp_cmd shell. So let's insert it to see what's the output. We click enter, okay. As you can see, this component is turned off as part of the security configuration for this server. For more information about enabling xp_cmd shell, search for xp_cmd shell in SQL Server books online. So let's search for it. We insert this. We can click here. Okay. Okay, as you can see, xp_cmd shell is a powerful feature and disabled by default. For more information, see surface area configuration and 𝑭𝒐𝒏𝒈 shell server configuration option. So we need this here. Let's see. And as you can see, if you need to enable 𝒐𝒏𝒈 shell, you can use this policy here or run the 𝑠p_configure system stored procedure as shown in the following code example. So we need to run these commands here, okay? So because 𝒐𝒏𝒈 shell is an advanced option, we need to use this command to allow advanced options to be changed, okay? So this command here. So let's do it. We pass the command here. Okay, now we run this command reconfigure to update the currently configured value for advanced options, okay? So we copy this and we pass the command here, and with this command here, so this one, we now can enable our component, okay? So we copy and we use once again the command reconfigure to update the currently configured value for this feature, so this one here. After this, we can run commands on Windows machine. However, we should make a reverse shell to have a more robust and flexible interaction with the target system. To do this, we can create a payload with 𝑚sfvenom. So we go back to our local machine and we can use this command that I will show you, okay? This command will make a reverse shell, and be sure to change this IP here with your local IP, okay? So I will show you how to see your local IP. You go to ifconfig, like so, and you copy this local IP, it's your local IP, and you pass on your reverse shell, so like so. Okay? The port you can leave it like so, or you can change to one that you want. It's up to you, okay? We run this command. Now if you list the contents of your current directory, you will see that you have here your reverse shell. Let's see if this reverse shell is executable, okay? With the command lns-l. And as you can see, our reverse shell is not executable, so we need to make it executable. To do that, we insert the command chmod, that stands for change modes, plus, because we are giving a permission, and then the permission X, that stands for execute, and then the name of our reverse shell, so nc.exe. You click enter, and if you run the command lns-l once again, you will see that now our reverse shell is now executable, okay? Now that we have our reverse shell, we just need to upload our reverse shell. However, we should do it to a directory that we can access for sure. So let's list the contents of the root directory to see what directories we have there that we can access, okay? Now, we are going to do this on our remote machine, not our local machine. So, to do that, we can use the following command I will show you. So, this command here. I will explain what this command does. 𝒐𝒏𝒈 shell enables command execution, and then the switch-c tells to PowerShell to execute the command that follows, so to execute this command here. The cd C:\/ command changes the directory to the root of the C drive and dir. So this command here lists the contents of that directory, okay? I hope I'm making sense. If you have any questions, please leave those questions in the commentary section down below, okay? You click enter and let's see. Okay, as you can see, we could list all the directories inside of the root directory. And from these directories, we can try to access the user's directory. Because, as we saw before, we are not an admin, so we do not have higher access. But we can have access to the user's directory. So we will use the same command, but we will insert the name of the directory that we want to list the contents of. In this case, users, like so. You click enter. Okay, Now, as you can see, we have here a directory called administrator, a directory called public, and a directory called SQL_svc. But we can try to list the contents of the directory called administrator. So we use the same command that we did before. However, we insert a backward slash and then the name of the directory that we want to list the contents of. In this case is administrator. Like so. You click enter. Okay, as you can see, our access was denied, so access to the path users administrator is denied, so we can't list the contents of the administrator directory. Now we can try to do the same to the public directory, so we use the same commands. However, instead of using administrator, we will use public, okay? Like so. And we click enter. Okay, as you can see, we can list the contents of this directory. So now we can try to upload our reverse shell into the public directory, okay? To do that, we will use the following command. I will show you, just a minute. So we will use this command here. However, you need to substitute the word 10.0 with your local IP address, okay? To know your local IP address, you can go to your local machine and insert the command ifconfig. And you insert this local IP address, okay? You copy and you pass here, but you need to delete this, okay? You pass. So this command is basically the same that we have been using, okay? However, instead of the dir command, we will use the wget that will download our reverse shell from our local machine, so this one here, to this remote machine, okay? Now, before we run this command, we need to set up a netcat listener, like so. I will show you. _lvp, and then don't forget that you need to insert the port that you used when creating our reverse shell. So this port here, okay? So you go back, you insert the port, and then you click enter. I will explain everything, okay? Let me show you. Okay, now here we will set up a HTTP server, okay, with Python 3-m http.server. So let me explain these two commands. We will use Python 3-m http.server to serve the file, so to serve our reverse shell from our local machine to the remote machine, okay? Then, when we execute our reverse shell on the remote machine, this netcat listener will grab our connection. I hope I'm making sense, and if I'm not, please leave a comment and I will try to explain me better, okay? So now we go back to our remote machine and we can execute this command, okay? Oh, let me just explain that this port here is the one on our Python command. So as you can see, the default port is this one. That is the same that we have here on our command, okay? So you click enter and let's see if we can download the reverse shell to the remote host, okay? Okay, so let's see by listing once again the contents of the public directory, okay? Let's see, so be prepared, and here we have our reverse shell, okay? We did it, guys. Now, before we execute this reverse shell, it's efficient to upload the _𝒏 binary that we will need in this box, in this challenge. So our task 6 says, what script can be used in order to search possible paths to escalate privileges on Windows hosts? And our answer is _𝒏s. Now, we can upload the _𝒏s using the same way that we used when uploading our reverse shell, okay? Let me just tell you that _𝒏s binary is used to identify potential privilege escalation paths once we have our reverse shell connection, okay? Now we just need to search for our _𝒏s. So let's see. We need to download it to our local machine. Let's see. Okay. _𝒏s .exe, binaries, and this one here, release. Okay, let me open this to see better. The release page, let's see. Okay, so WinPiece is this one here, and we are downloading our WinPiece. Now I have my WinPiece on downloads, so I will move it to my Archetype directory. So move WinPiece to this path here. Okay, let me copy this path. Now let's move to this directory, and if you do ls, you will have here the WinPiece file. Okay, let's see if this is executable, and it's not, so let's make this file executable. So chmod +x, and then the name of the file, WinPiece. Okay, now if you run the command ls-l once again, you will see that now our WinPiece is now executable. Okay, now that we have our WinPiece, we can use once again our command, the same command that we used previously to upload our reverse shell to the remote machine, but this time to upload our WinPiece file. Okay, so let's do it. We use the same command, don't forget, so this one here, but instead of nc.exe, we use WinPiece, so the name of the file. Let's see. So this one here, we copy and we pass here, and we do the same here once again. Okay, in this command, the file WinPiece 64.exe is the name of the file that we will upload, and this switch here will basically create a file, a new file, with the contents of this one, but with a new name. Okay, but I will give the same name to the new file. Okay, you can do it as well. Okay, or you can give a new name, it's up to you. Now you can run this command because we already have our Python serving the file. Okay, so let's do it. You click enter, let's see the behavior, and as you can see, we were able to upload our WinPiece to the remote machine. So if you list everything once again, you will see that now we not only have our reverse shell, but we have WinPiece as well. Okay, now that we have all we need, we can execute the reverse shell with the following command. Let me show you. This command here will execute our reverse shell. Okay, and we can run this command because we already have our netcat listener waiting for our connection. Okay, so we go back and we click enter, and let's see the magic happening. Okay, and here we have, guys, we are in, we have our connection. Now if you list everything that's inside of public, you will have our WinPiece as well. So there, and here we have, guys, our WinPiece that we can execute. Okay, but let's exit this Python server because we don't need it anymore. Okay, guys, let's see. Now let's execute our WinPiece file and see what's the output. Okay, so to execute a file on Windows, we can just insert the name of the file. So this is grabbing all the information that we need. Okay, so our scan is done. Let's see what was the output of our scan. Let's see. Okay, so we are in the beginning. Let's see. Okay, we have here a PS that stands for PowerShell history file, as you can see, and this refers to a file that stores the command history of a PowerShell session. And we have a path to the history file called console_history.txt. This file can be very useful for many reasons. For instance, if a user has entered credentials as part of a command like net.exe, those credentials may be recorded in the history file. That being said, let's change of directories to read the contents of this file here, okay? So let's do it. We copy this here, and then we go all the way down and cd and pass the path to the file that we want, okay? We click enter, we list everything, and here we have the file. So let's read the contents of the file using the type command, okay? We copy, we pass. Okay, as you can see, we have here the credentials of the user administrator, and this is his password, okay? And by the way, the answer to task 7, what file contains the administrator's password, is this one here, console hosts _ history.txt, okay? So that's our answer. Now we need to submit the user flag. Let's see if we can find it. So we go back to the roots directory, dir cd users, dir, let's see, cd sql_svc, dir, let's now search for our flag, okay? cd desktop, let's see if it's there, dir, and here we have a file called user.txt. Let's see the contents of this file with the command type user.txt. And here we have our user flag, okay? And now we need to submit the root flag. Now, to find the root flag, we need to switch of users. So we are who am I? You will see that we are SQL SVC user, but we need to change to the root user. And to do this, we can try to use eval_win_rm to start a session. eval_win_rm is a tool that interacts with Windows Remote Management Service to execute commands and upload or download files. It is primarily used by security professionals, particularly in penetration testing and red team scenarios, to establish sessions with remote Windows machines that have WinRM enabled. Now we can try to use this tool here, okay? So the command to establish a session with eval_win_rm is this one here. I will show you this one here. So this switch here, the I, specifies the IP address of the target machine or host name, of course. Then the -u switch is the username, so administrator, and -p is the password. Now, let me just tell you that our password is inside of single quotes because it has special characters, so these ones here, okay? In this way, the shell treats the password as a literal string without interpreting any of its characters as special shell characters, okay? Now, we click enter and let's see. And guys, we are in. Now, if you run the command, who am I? We are administrator. So we basically escalated our privileges, okay? Now let's search for our file and let's assume that our flag is saved in a file called root.txt, and to search for our file in an easy way, we can use a command that will basically search for the file in the current directory and in its subdirectories, okay, recursively. But before we insert that command, we can search from our users directory, not from our documents directory that belongs to the administrator. So we need to go back in order to make our search begin from the users directory and go to its subdirectories. And this is because I think that our roots flag is there, okay, in one of the subdirectories of the users directory, okay? And now we can use this command. So let me just tell you that getChildItem is used to retrieve the items, for instance, files and directories in a specified location, in this case, in this location, the user's location. Then this switch, the -path, specifies the starting point of the search. In this case, the starting point of the search is the user's directory, okay? And then this switch here, recurse, instructs getChildItem, so this here, to include all subdirectories in the search, not just the top level directory specified by the path. So not just the user's directory, but the subdirectories that are inside of this directory, okay? And then this is the name of the file that we are searching for. So we click now enter, and let's see if we can find our file. And here we have our file root.txt in this directory here. So the file is in the desktop directory of the administrator. So we copy this, and then we insert cd and we pass our path to the file. Then we insert dir, and here we have our file. Then we see the contents of the file with the command type and then the name of the file. And here we have our _flag, okay? Well, that's it guys, and thanks for watching. I hope you found this walkthrough of the Archetype challenge helpful, and if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below with your thoughts or any questions you might have. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already for more awesome content like this. See you next time, stay curious, stay safe, and keep exploring. Bye bye!